Let's set the record straight. Women aren't as enigmatic as they might seem. Complex, sure. Impossible to decipher? Far from it. The reality is every woman, no matter how poised, confident, or guarded, has emotional vulnerabilities, hidden triggers that, when approached with precision, cut through the clutter and reach her core. This isn't about manipulation, it's about stoic awareness. While others exhaust themselves trying to charm or endlessly please, you'll stand calm, composed, and potent in all the right ways. In this video, we're exploring the top 9 emotional weaknesses of women, not to exploit, but to stop being outplayed. Some will catch you off guard, some will make you grin, and others might clarify a breakup you never quite understood. So, buckle up, because what you're about to discover will rewrite everything you thought you knew about attraction. If you're done with confusion and ready to take charge, hit that subscribe button. This isn't about being the nice guy. It's about becoming the unforgettable man. Let's dive in. Number 1, confidence that needs no validation. Here's a truth most men miss until it's too late. What truly captivates a woman isn't loudness, it's presence. Behavioral psychology reveals that people mirror the emotional tone of those around them. In attraction, this means if you enter a room with neediness, insecurity, or over-explanation, she picks up that vibe and pulls away. But if you walk in with calm, unshakable confidence, the kind that doesn't need to proclaim itself, it doesn't just draw her in, it disarms her. This isn't flashy bravado or a performance. It's self-assurance that holds steady in silence, doesn't waver when she steps back, and doesn't crave external approval to feel valid. Most men overtalk, overpromise, or overgive, trying to prove their worth. They smother her with validation, not realizing that chasing makes her retreat. The paradox: she feels secure only when you stop seeking her approval. Stoicism teaches you to hold your ground, act without reacting, and stay steady through tests, mood swings, or mind games. A woman's deepest craving isn't control, it's containment. She wants your solidity, not dominance, your direction, not noise. When you stay composed in discomfort, unmoved by chaos, you send a message louder than any compliment. You're not here to win her over. You're here to stand firm and invite her to join you, not carry her. That's not just attractive, it's magnetic. Most men never reach this because they're too busy proving instead of becoming. Confidence isn't a pose, it's inner stillness. Master that, and she leans in, not because you pushed, but because you didn't need to. That energy owns the room and lingers in her memory. Number 2, being seen without needing to explain. As we age, emotional outbursts often give way to exhaustion, not because we stop feeling, but because we've learned the cost of explaining ourselves to those who don't listen. For many women, especially those who've carried emotional burdens for years, silence becomes a shield. Not a peace, but a fatigue from being dismissed, misread, or labeled as difficult for expressing their inner world. Most men fail here not out of malice, but distraction. They're too busy planning responses, solving problems, or avoiding discomfort to see what's really happening. But the man who pauses, who looks into her distance without demanding answers, who holds presence instead of pushing for clarity, that man disarms her without a word. I once knew a woman in her late 60s who'd endured 2 marriages and buried deep pain. She told me she fell in love again, not during a grand gesture, but when a man noticed her off day and simply sat beside her. No advice, no probing, just warm silence. For the first time in years, she felt seen. The Stoics taught that wisdom lies in perception, not speech, in sensing without control, observing without judgment. That's the skill men have lost, yet it's what women crave, to be felt, not analyzed, to be understood without performing. If you want to reach a woman's heart, it's not through grand displays or clever words, it's through quiet, consistent attentiveness. Your strength to hold space, not answers, makes you unforgettable, not for what you say, but for how deeply you listen. Number 3, masculine silence at the right time. There's a silence that wounds and a silence that heals. One feels like abandonment, cold, calculated distance meant to punish. But the other, born from a man who's mastered his emotions, is a force of its own. That silence is presence, and few men mature enough to embody it. Most panic under emotional tension, over-talking, over-justifying, or over-explaining, thinking noise equals control. But that only exposes emotional fragility. A man who reacts to every jab shows his inner world is still unsteady, and women sense it. Not always consciously, but viscerally. They feel the cracks in your calm, the fear behind your silence. But a man who holds his tongue, not from pride, but principle, who chooses stillness when others rush to speak, that man operates on another plane. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Silence isn't retreat. It's standing firm without wasting energy on chaos. When a woman tests you, when emotions flare, when conversations turn manipulative, your greatest weapon isn't words. It's restraint. The discipline to pause, breathe, and feel the storm without becoming it. Seneca wrote, "Speech may be silver, but silence is gold when it is timely." The more you speak reactively, the less your words matter. But silence born of grounded awareness, not avoidance, commands respect. She may not grasp it right away, but she'll feel it. In a noisy world, that presence is magnetic. Stop seeing stillness as weakness. True masculinity anchors under pressure. You don't need to win every argument. You need to win your peace. Sometimes that starts with saying nothing. Number 4, unwavering deep eye contact. There's something primal about a man who holds a gaze, something ancient that needs no words, posture, or charm. Deep, unbroken eye contact is a lost art. Not the polite glance of passing strangers, but the kind that lingers a second longer than most can bear. That second is everything. It's where self-respect lives, where fear hides, and where most men falter. I once met a retired Navy officer at a veteran storytelling night. In his late 70s, he had a quiet, steely presence that didn't demand attention. It commanded it. While younger men filled the room with nervous chatter, he sat silently, not withdrawn, but deeply present. When spoken to, he didn't rush to reply. He looked, fully and calmly, and that stillness often unnerved the speaker more than words could. His gaze wasn't aggressive, it was honest, saying, "I have nothing to prove. I've seen more than you know." Stoicism teaches that strength begins when you stop reacting and start observing. Most men lose power because they can't sit still in their own skin. When a woman truly looks at them, They retreat into overthinking, doubt, or filling the silence. They perform instead of being, but women notice. They feel the flicker in your eyes, the shift in your shoulders. Deep eye contact isn't about seduction. It's about self-mastery. When you hold her gaze without needing her approval, you're not just another man. You're the one she remembers. Your stillness says what words can't. I am grounded. I am enough. I am here to witness, not chase. In a noisy world, the man who meets her eyes and stays steady becomes unforgettable. Not because he impressed her, but because he didn't flinch.